So here, the rule about being constant is when doing. Now, let me give you the second scenario. Now, doing one rak'ah and doing nothing is better to do one rak'ah, or two rak'ah and nothing is better to do two rak'ah sometimes rather than doing nothing. But let's say you do 4 rak'ah today, tomorrow 2, and then 4, and then 2, and then 6, and then 2, and then 8, and then 2. Now, in all the cases you are doing 2. Yeah, that is the minimum. And that minimum, you is alhamdulillah.
يا اخواني الحمد لله بخير.
طيب
الحمد لله
جزاك الله خير. والله الحمد لله. نعم تفضل نعم. So 2 rak'ah, little, there is something which is better than. You see, before there was nothing to be better than, but here you have something, 2 rak'ah. It's little, but the hadith says little continuous better than something that you can't keep all the time. أحب العمل إلى الله, the best deeds according to Allah are these that are continuous even if they are little. So if you go now and try to pray 4, you are probably losing the reward. Losing the reward rather than, because if Allah likes something better than the other, He will give you more reward than, isn't it? If Allah likes something better than the other thing, that means if you do it, you get more reward for that.
Yeah.
That is
because He likes it more.
Yeah, if Allah likes something He better than another thing, then it's clear that the one that He likes more, He will be giving a reward more. So if now you pray the 2 rak'ah that you pray continuously, you will get more rewards for them. You pray 4 and you lose the reward.
If you pray 4 regularly.
Yeah. But if you pray 4 regularly, of course you will get. You understand this point here. So here you have something. The Prophet. How did we come to the conclusion that to this? The Prophet was told about a woman who pray a lot, and then he said mah. This mah in Arabic means careful, stop, don't.
Like
Mah. You see what the way that they say to a child, like mah. Huh? You understand? The Arabs use it like, he say mah. عليكم من الأعمال بما تطيقون. Just take from the deeds what you can. Because Allah doesn't get bored until you get bored. Boring. Yeah. Well, of course, it's not like the way. It's different when we talk about Allah. So that means you will get bored quick and you can't continue. Now we see that the woman, when the Prophet stopped her from doing what she was doing, it's not that she couldn't do it. That time she could do it, but he stopped her from doing it because maybe in the future she can't keep the days. Inshallah, no problem. Inshallah.
So you should not increase unless you know that you're going to do it continuously.
Unless you think
you can do it every day.
Yes.
Okay, but it's better to do nothing. It's better to do something than nothing constantly.
Yeah, something better than nothing.
Even if it's one time.
Yes, because nothing is like we say. The best deeds to Allah are those that are kept regular. You understand? Even if they are little. Now, when there is nothing, rather you do sometimes something. You understand? That doesn't cover with this hadith.
So what's the hadith when the Prophet saw the rope?
Yes, that comes under this. That the woman was trying hard to pray and to do something that she can't. You understand? She shouldn't have tortured herself. He said, and he didn't. In that hadith, actually, the woman, it looks like she was getting tired from sleep, lack of sleep. You understand? And he warned that she shouldn't, that because night prayer, and the night prayer, she get tired, that is because of lack of sleep. And he gave the reason there. He said because someone might go and try to pray, and then he will start cursing himself, because she will not know what she is saying. And if she doesn't know what she is saying, she is intoxicated. She is intoxicated. She has to stop praying until she knows what she is saying.
Does it apply for a song as well? Siyam.
If someone is fasting and no, people when they are fasting, they can't. They are hungry. They get hungry. They have to go. That is why the people fast to get hungry. It doesn't matter if they.
He's saying, can do it regularly.
Yeah, if I fast every Sunday, for example, I should not fast Sunday and Monday unless I know that I'm going to do it constantly.
No, if you don't do anything, then better you. If you don't do anything, it's better that you fast every time you can. But let's say you can fast once a week, and you can sometimes fast 3 days a week or 2 days a week. Then it's better that you fast 1 day every week. And the hadith actually that comes about the regular, one of the hadith that speaks about keeping your deed regular is the hadith of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. When he came to the Prophet said, actually the Prophet someone complained, his father complained to the Prophet, and he said that he fast continuously and pray night time all the night. So the Prophet came to visit him and asked him, do you do that? He said yes. He said don't do that. So he ordered him to fast 3 days every month and to read the Quran, to finish the Quran once a month. And then the man insisted, they can do better than this. And he kept saying 3 days to 5 to 7, and then from reading Quran from a month to 15 days until he reached 7 days for the recitation of Quran, that is reciting at night time prayer, and for the fasting 1 day and not fasting 1 day. That is the limit that he can do. So he took him to the limit. And the man insisted on doing everything possible. Above that, it's haram to do anyway. To read Quran in less than 7 days, it's haram to read Quran in less than 7 days. And to fast the whole year.
They do all the time.
Yes, to fast the whole year is also haram. The maximum you can fast is half of the year. So here, when the Prophet told him this, the man insisted. So the Prophet told him something at the end. He said, "You never know. You might live a long life." What do you understand from this? You might live long, which will make you will become old. You will be not able to, and that what happened to him. The man he lived more than 90 years, and he was so weak that he couldn't keep his fast. He used to sometimes he used to make up, instead of fasting 1 day, another day, he will not fast 7 days to get his strength back, and then fast 7 days continuously because he couldn't. He used to say, I wish that I accepted what the Prophet told me.
But he can't stop it.
No, he can, but he will be doing something makruh. He can stop, but
it's makruh, not from.
no, that is makruh now.
Oh, okay.
Because that is the Prophet. You see, when the Prophet make an order,
specific.
if the Prophet say don't do something, it's not possible that you say this is fine. It's either haram or makruh. Now, it is generally when he say don't do something that is haram, unless there is proof that it is makruh. Now here the proof that this is makruh, that this matter here is from the beginning not an obligation. This person has never had it. It was not obligation to fast from the beginning. So it will not change the fact that he started fasting. I mean, something that is generally is mustaḥabb will stay mustaḥabb until proven otherwise. And there is no proof here that if you start something, it becomes compulsory on you. Okay? So we go back to the makruh. We said the makruh we just started. The mubah, sorry. The mubah at the Arabic language, it comes from the word buh, vast. And then they say the house, garden, or the houses, the place that they have outside, they call it baha. That is because it's vast normally. The houses will be small. Building the houses is difficult. That the Arabs will have, but building a wall around it is easy in a land which is free. The land was, wherever you go, it's free, the desert and stuff. So they will build a long wall outside it, which is, and they call it baha. So that was, and then they say the relation, so they say the word Ibāḥa, Mubah, comes from that because it is vast. It's you have the choice.
Covers a lot of stuff.
No, it is no, it's not because of that. Because it's you have the choice. You have a lot of choices. Do it, don't do it. You understand? It's not like obligation. You have to do it. Haram, you can't do it. You don't have.
Sure.
Even Mustaḥabb, you have the choice. But if you don't have to do it, but if you don't have to do it, you know that you are losing. You understand? As for Mubah, you know that you do it, you don't do it, it's the same. You understand? So, in the Istilah, however, it is something that the religion has given you the choice, whether to do or not. If you do it, you don't get any praise. You don't get praised for doing it. If you don't do it, you are not being blamed. You are not blamed in any way for not doing it. It's not like makruh. Makruh, even though it is not haram, but it's still, you are not to lose any rewards or something, or you get any punishment for it. But still, you can be blamed for doing something. If you leave it, you get rewarded for not doing it. You understand? So he said, except if when you do it or when you leave it with intention, with a good intention. So if someone is doing mubah, now someone going to sleep, just want to go to sleep, it's fine. If you want to wake up, it's fine. But if someone goes to sleep because he wants to get prepared for the prayer. Like he can wait until the prayer, but he say no, I go to sleep because I want to concentrate more on my prayer. If I sleep in this way, I can still pray, but I will not be concentrating fully. This person, he sleep, good intention. Understand? He is sleeping with a good intention. For that, he might be rewarded for that. You understand? Also, if someone leaves something, you understand? Someone leaves something for a good reason. It is fine to talk to some, but then you see people talking, and then it is fine to talk. There is people around you, and then you think, oh, if I talk now, it will harm. I might feel good about myself. You understand? That
What do you mean good about?
a person is talking, and then people are, like, for example, they are talking about some matters. Yeah, just general matters, and then they can't find a solution for them, and then he start talking, and people like his talk.
They like his opinion.
Like, yes, they like his talk. For example, they are talking about issue of this world affairs, and he thinks, oh, he can answer, but then he thinks, if I talk, people will praise me, and this is not something good. You understand? So he stops talking. If he talks, it's mubah. If he doesn't talk, it's mubah. But now, because of good intention, I give you an example. Abdullah bin Umar, the Prophet asked a question, and he said, like he gave them a challenge. A tree that is like a believer. It's beneficial in every way.
A tree.
Yeah. The Prophet said that there is a tree that it is like a believer. She doesn't lose any. She gives like the trees normally every year they give once the fruits, but this tree gives twice a year. Yes. The other thing that he described this tree that it is beneficial for in every way and doesn't lose its leaves. Which tree is it? So people started thinking.
Okay, the tree that gives twice and doesn't lose
the leaves, and it is like a believer. He says it is like a believer. The people say it's like a believer because it's beneficial in every way. Like there is nothing from it which is lost. Everything is useful. So when he said this, people started asking. Someone will say this tree, another person. Nobody knew about it. Ibn Umar says, but I thought it was the palm tree. The fact that the Prophet used actually what he was doing then, he was eating the heart. You see the palm tree? When it is new, when it starts, you can take the heart of it. It's sweet. Before it becomes, you see, the bigger it gets, the harder it becomes wood. But at the beginning, it just leaves. It's a leaf from inside. It comes leaves, like, and then it become. But at the beginning, it's just the green leaves, which is sweet in a way. So he saw him eating it. He thought it was it, but he didn't. He said, "I looked, and I saw all old men around me." It's not haram to talk in the presence of old men. He said, but so I left it. Now he didn't want to be praised, even though he knew what is the answer. So that is, he is doing a good thing. If he did it, if he spoke or if he chose to speak, it won't be haram. It was fine. If he chose not to speak, it was fine. But not to speak for the good reason, or to speak for a good reason. Yes, of course, you understand. So that is what.
Is that the example he put?
No, he didn't give example. I just gave example to explain. He didn't bring examples here, but this is how examples. I mean, someone eating now. You stand up, you go to a shop and eat. You ate because you want to eat. It's not an obligation. It's not mustaḥabb. It's not haram. It's not makruh. But if you go and eat, your intention is, I feel tired, and I will stand up in my prayer. I will be thinking about food. So let me eat now, and then so I can concentrate on my prayer. It's good thing to do. Understand? All these are the things that we say mubah. Mubah is. You are not blamed if you leave it. You are not praised if you do it, unless you do it or leave it for a good reason. The mubah also is called halal. We call it mubah or we call it halal. Okay? Now we speak about the siyagh, the ways that we know this is mubah. How do we determine when we read something in the Quran or Sunnah, how do you say this is mubah? So first, siyagh is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, for example, about something that it is halal, or the Prophet says it. If the Prophet says this is halal, halal is halal. It's not mustaḥabb, it's not makruh, it's not.
Usually, if the Prophet compares it to something good, like vinegar, when he compares it, how sweet, when the Prophet said sweet vinegar, the beautiful vinegar. You know vinegar?
نعمل إدام الخل.
Yeah.
The best إدام is vinegar. Yeah.
بس أبو حاتم قال سنده ضعيف عند مسلم.
حديث نعمل إدام الخل. هو حقيقة حديث عند مسلم رواه الحجاج بن أبي زينب. الحجاج بن أبي زينب ليس is not strong. He didn't say hadith is sahih or da'if. What I'm saying is, I'm just giving him the example. But the hadith which says, نعم الإدام الخل.
Would that mean?
No, نعم الإدام الخل, he is praising idam. You understand? Yeah. You might think it is also mustaḥabb, but no, because he's talking about food. It's more likely if this is the fact we can't take from this hadith hukum because it's not really strong. But if it was, then some people might say he is praising the idam, the vinegar, and therefore to eat it with, because it's been praised by in the religion. What the Prophet says is wahy. So to eat it, you will probably get rewarded for that. It will be mustaḥabb. Anyway, the sigha, let's say go to the sigha that may show something which is halal. Look, first, the Prophet says, first sigha, when the hadith comes and say this is halal. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, اليوم أحل لكم الطيبات. Today, the pure things, the halal طيبات has been made halal for you. وطعام الذين أوتوا الكتاب حل لكم وطعامكم حل لهم. And the food of the people of the book is halal for you, and your food is halal for them. Okay? So this shows that these things are mubah, halal. It's fine. Does it mean that it is, this ayah doesn't give you any hukum that, for example, if you eat any food that you get rewarded. Sometimes eating food is an obligation. Sometimes eating food is haram. Sometimes eating food is mustaḥabb. Sometimes eating food is makruh. But not here. We don't take it from this ayah. We take that is
Generally.
the tayyibat are halal. Now when to eat this tayyibat, which tayyibat you eat at what time, or this is a different matter. But from this ayah all we take that tayyibat are halal.
And the first surah is to come clear.
Yeah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ, that means it's halal. You don't take from this word that is an obligation. From this hadith ayah like this, it's not obligation, it's not mustaḥabb, it's not makruh, it's not haram. Also, he say also the saying of the Prophet about the water of the sea, that it is huwa tahuru ma'uh, that the water of it is tahur, and the dead, whatever is dead in it is halal. Now this hadith is da'if, because he believes it's sahih, he bring it here. But the word hillu, the maita of sea is halal. If someone doesn't eat in his life anything from the sea, he is not doing haram, is he? Nobody. We don't say that it's an obligation for a person to eat from even once in a life. He doesn't have to. You understand? So why do we say that? Even if for someone who considers this hadith to be sahih, because the word halal doesn't mean except that it is fine. Okay?
So we should not take the words out of the Quran. Halal is halal.
Yes, that is what it means, and that is something that is agreed anyway.
Yeah.
The other sigha, the other way, the other words or things that show that something is halal, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there is no harm, there is no sin. You understand? If Allah say لا جناح عليكم, لا حرج, there is no ithm, or anything similar, such as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying ليس على الأعمى حرج, is not, there is no harm on someone who is blind, or someone who is limping, or someone who is sick, or on yourself, that you eat from your houses or the houses of your fathers. You see this ayah in Surah Al-Nur, there is no harm on you to eat from your houses, or the houses of your fathers, or the houses of your mothers. or the houses of your brothers or sisters and uncles and aunties, both maternal and or your friends, or what you possess the keys. If you have the key of someone gives you a key, then Allah said it is halal to eat from this house. Let someone let you in his house, and he doesn't give you permission to eat, but he let you inside the house. Then you don't have to ask for permission. The fact that he let you go inside his house, Allah said there is no harm that you eat from that house. You understand this? As long as you don't eat everything that is in the house. No, because the ayah actually determined that you can't eat everything in the house. It says, لا جناح عليكم أن تأكلوا من بيوتكم أو بيوت آبائكم. But it says, أن تأكلوا من. And min is for tab'ir, from the houses. It's not everything in the house. So as long as you leave something, then it is halal to eat. You have permission from Allah, even if the person who is actually the owner of the house doesn't like it.
Even if he says don't eat. Even
if he doesn't like it, the fact that he let you, now you have to understand that where he let you stay, if he tells you you can go inside the house, then you are in the house, you can. But if he tells you you go to this room, you don't go to that room, and the food is in that room, then you can't, of course. You go to the house, you just eat if the food is in the area where you are.
So you can specify the place, not the...
Yeah, you can't tell someone in your house not to sit except in this room, and therefore he can't. So this is, what we are concerned here is the word لَيْسَ عَلَى الْأَعْمَى حَرَجٍ. There is no haraj. There is no haraj, is meaning it's halal. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَمَنْ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. So whoever is pushed by necessity, there is no sin on him. This ayah, we don't take from it that you have to eat when you are pushed by necessity. All we take from this ayah, that it is fine, because there is no sin. It doesn't mean you have to eat if you are pushed by necessity. The fact that you have to preserve yourself, your life, that is, we take it from another ayah. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُمْ رَحِيمًا. But this ayah only says that if you do it, then there is no sin. So this means, this ayah shows that it's halal. Now, since it is halal, since this food now, since there is no food around, and then there is a swine, and the swine is halal when there is no other thing, because you are pushed by necessity. And Allah said in the Quran, don't kill yourselves. You understand? Leaving what is halal, not taking what is halal, will be going, oppressing yourself, wronging yourself. That which will make it haram, but not the actual ayah.
بالنسبة للبيت إذا دخلت ما تحتاج إلى
لا تحتاج إلى إذن. نعم.
والمتجر؟
لا، المتجر بيت، لكن تأكل إذا كان صاحبه أذن لك بالدخول. إذا صاحبه إذا كان
مثلا شي حاجة
متجر
متجر مثلا حاطين.
نحن نتكلم على الناس معينين، ليس عليكم جناح أن ولا على أنفسكم أن تأكلوا من بيوتكم وبيوت آبائكم وبيوت أمهاتكم وبيوت أعمامكم وبيوت عماتكم وبيوت أخوالكم وبيوت خالاتكم وبيوت صديقكم أو ما ملكتم مفاتيحه. ومش تسكو أو فهمت؟ الناس اللي مخصوصين يعني، هذا هم اللي يعني لو واحد دخلت
وإذا الإنسان أعطاك إذن المرة الأولى ما تحتاج تطلب منه
ما تحتاج إذن أصلا، لا المرة الأولى ولا المرة الثانية أصلا.
ماشي في البيت
لا، في الناس هذو اللي نتكلموا عليهم. لا، احنا ما نتكلموا الآن في الفقه. احنا نتكلم ما تأكلش أصلا، ممنوع، حرام. لا يحل مال امرئ مسلم إلا بطيب نفس عنه. إذا دخلت متجر مسلم وما أذن لك بالأكل ما تستطيع تأكل أصلا، حرام. احنا نتكلموا على مسألة خاصة هنا، والأصل هنا احنا فقط نحاول نتكلموا على كلمة لا إثم، لا حرج، لا جناح. مثل ليس عليكم أن تدخلوا، ليس عليكم جناح أن تدخلوا بيوتا غير مسكونة. ليس عليكم جناح. The fact there is no harm on you to enter houses that are not being inhibited. So this shows that it is not haram, but it's not an obligation as well. It's not makruh, it's not mustaḥabb, it is just mubah. So the word la junah means ibaha. And he mentions here another hadith from Abdurrahman ibn Mut'im. He said, I asked al-Bara ibn Azib and Zayd ibn Arqam an al-Sarf. He asked al-Bara ibn Azib and Zayd ibn Arqam about Sarf. Sarf is to sell. They used to sell gold for silver. There was dinar and there is the dirham. So he said, he asked them, Abu al-Minhal, Abdurrahman ibn Mut'im, he asked al-Bara ibn Azib and Zayd ibn Arqam, he told them, what do you say about selling dinar, gold for silver? So he said they used to be themselves businessmen at the time of the Prophet. So they asked the Prophet about the sarf. He said, if it's hand for hand, it's fine. وَإِنْ كَانَ نَسَاءً فَلَا يَصْلُحْ. He said, if it's hand for hand, you give the gold, you take the silver, it's fine. He said, but if it's nasi'a is delaying. إنما النسيء زيادة في الكفر. If I give you the dinar today and you give me the dirham tomorrow, then it is, or after 1 hour or after a second, or this is, he said, then فلا يصلح. فلا يصلح, and we spoke last week about the week before about لا يصلح. What does it mean? It means haram. لا يصلح الصوم في هذين اليومين. It is not fine to fast these 2 days, which is the Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr. That make it haram. Okay? So if the Prophet say لا يصلح, that will make it haram. And then this is the second, what we call صيغة of إباحة. If Allah say this is halal, or the Prophet say this is halal, this is mubah, halal, it's fine. If he say there is no sin, there is no harm, that is halal. The third way to know something is halal is if Allah order to do something. If Allah order you to do something, he say do this, or the Prophet say do this, but this has, he said this after he has forbidden you from doing something. He prior to that order, he said don't do it. And prior to that order, it was mubah. Like for example, hunting. Hunting is halal. There have never been an order to do hunting. You don't have to go and hunt, because Allah, no, anywhere in the Quran, He never said, "Oh people, you have to hunt," or the Prophet said, "You have to hunt." You can hunt if you want. You can work businessman. You can do business. You can clean. You can. There is so many. So it's up to you what you do. But then Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says in the Quran, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la taqtulu sayda wa antum haram." Oh people, don't kill the game while in state of ihram. La taqtulu sayda, don't hunt, don't kill what we call it the game while in state of ihram, or while in state of in the haram. That is wa antum haram. Either being in Mecca, person when he is in Mecca he is haram, or when he is wearing the ihram he is haram as well. So he said don't kill the game while in state of ihram. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says after that, فَإِذَا حَلَلْتُمْ فَاصْطَادُوا. Hil is when you take the ihram. فَاصْطَادُوا, an order. And an order is obligation. But is it here an obligation? He ordered to do the hunting. But is it an obligation? It isn't, because before it was halal.
The order came after
The order, yes, we say this is what we call they call it al-amr al-warid ba'd al-hadr. So it was an order came after prohibition, and prior to prohibition, how it was it? It was mubah. So it will go to the same state. It was mubah, then it became haram, then it will have to go and stay mubah. Such as another example, يسألونك عن المحيض. They ask you regarding the menses. قل هو أذى. Say that it is harm. فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض. Keep away from the woman for mahid, for the menses. And then at the end of the day, say فإذا حتى يطهرن. فإذا تطهرنا فأتوهن من حيث أمركم الله. This is order. أتوهن من حيث أمركم الله. But it is an obligation? No. Why? Because it was mubah, then it became haram. Now it's an order, but it goes back to become mubah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله. An order. وذروا البيع. So you have to leave your house, you have to leave the street, you have to go to the mosque. It's an order. Now فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض. When the prayer is finished, then disperse in the. Do you have to, after the prayer, go out of the mosque? You don't have to. It's mubah. Because before the prayer, it was mubah to disperse in the land. So he forbade you, and then now he gave you order. It's true, it's an order. It looks like an order, but it takes you to the same state.
To the original.
Yeah. If this is, and it just mubah, but it is fine if someone wants to stay after the salah in the mosque. Then there is the hadith that says that whoever prays and stay in his place, and as long as in the same spot, then he will, the malaika will say, oh Allah, Allahumma ghfir lahu, Allahumma arhamhu, ma lam yuhdith. So also from the sunnah of the Prophet we have some similar examples. كنت نهيتكم عن زيارة القبور الآن فزوروها. I forbid you from visiting the graveyards. It was halal, then he forbid, now it's halal. Go and visit. Even though he said كنت نهيتكم عن الانتباد في الأسقية. At the beginning he said don't put nabid. Nabid is to throw dates or grapes inside the water and drink the juice from it. So at the beginning he said don't drink in so and so, like al-muzaffat, al-naqyar, al-muqayyar, specific utensils, not to use them. Then after he said I forbid you, now you can use them. It's fine, it's halal, it's not an obligation. Also نهيتكم عن ادخار لحوم الأضاحي فوق 3. At the beginning the Prophet said I forbid you from saving the meat of the sacrifice more than 3 days. Now you can save. Okay? All these, the examples here are not so many. Probably this is all the examples that you can find in the religion about an order being halal and then goes to haram and then back to halal. Any order from the Prophet should be taken as obligation, or any order in the Quran, not in this specific case.
Okay, and is this considered abrogation or no?
No, this is considered abrogation.
Abrogation?
Yes, this abrogation for nahaytukum, for the hadith of the Prophet, this is considered abrogation, not the examples that I gave you in the Quran. Abrogation is something that Allah ordered for everybody and forbade for everybody. You understand? Forever. Abrogation is not prayer. Is a prayer abrogated? We can pray from sunrise until Asr. After Asr we can't pray. It's haram to pray. Isn't it?
There's a specific period.
Yeah, there is specific periods where you can't pray. Like from Asr to Maghrib. Is the prayer abrogated here? We don't call this mansukh. Mansukh is something that is forbidden for the whole ummah, not for specific people. Like, you see when the Prophet said, don't visit the graveyards. It was allowed to, everybody was allowed to visit the graveyards. And then at one point, everybody was forbidden from visiting the graveyards. And then later, everybody was given the permission to. You understand? It's not similar like this now. Prayer, don't pray from this time to this time, and then pray, and then don't pray, and then pray. And so this is, we don't call it nasakh or mansukh. Like a woman not praying in her period. We don't call this abrogation. You understand?
Because it's specific.
So you understand the difference between abrogation or. We'll come to the abrogation later, inshallah.
Is how many ayat that says قل من حرم زينة الله in this word, يعني who said that zina something قل من حرم زينة الله
قل من حرم زينة الله التي أخرج لعباده وطيبات من الرزق. So some people who try to make something haram without proof, Allah says who made it haram. So if it's not made haram, it is halal. It's neither an obligation, neither makruh, neither haram. So it is mubah. So the zina of Allah that He has given to people, anything that it is Allah has created, flowers are halal, it's from the zina. You understand? Any perfumes, any clothing, if someone wants to say it's haram, he has to prove it. So it is halal. If it's not haram, it is only halal. You can't take from it.
وفي كذلك هو الذي أحل لكم الطيبات
هو الذي أحل لكم الطيبات
وأحل لكم الطيبات وحرم عليكم الخبائث.
يحل لهم الطيبات ويحرم عليهم الخبائث. نعم. انه رسول
وهنا تكون حلال.
الطيبات حلال، ليس لو قلت الطيبات هل الطيبات واجب؟ ها؟
لا.
طيبات حلال. يعني خذ اي شيء من المسمى طيبات. ها؟ خذ برتقال من الطيبات.
صح.
حلال.
صح.
لو انسان ما اكل برتقال في حياته هل هو عمل شيء حرام؟ هو لو واحد يعني هو حلال فقط وليس واجب وليس مكروه وليس مباح وليس مستحب وليس حرام، مباح.
Oh no, I meant is there any ayah that comes in the same way man harama?
No, but we are just, there is the same wording man harama is Surah Al-A'raf, yes, but try to concentrate on the same lesson because
No, because it means it's halal if Allah says man haram.
yes, and that's what we say, it
So
is halal.
this is one of the seal as well.
من حرم
Yeah.
الإنكار على من حرم. We have not finished all the صيغة anyway, so he say also استصحاب الإباحة الأصلية، وهذا الذي يقول له في الأصل في الأشياء الإباحة، فكل شيء مباح ما لم يرد دليل ينقله عن تلك الإباحة إلى غيرها من الأحكام التكليفية، فلا يدعى وجوب أو استحباب أو تحريم أو كراهة إلا بدليل ناقل إليها من الإباحة. He said that also we have this asl that's called istisḥāb, istisḥāb al-Ibāḥa al-Aṣliyyah. If someone comes and say this is haram for anything, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, criticize those who make halal or haram. قل أرأيتم ما أنزل الله لكم من رزق فجعلتم منه حراما وحلالا الله أذن لكم. Do you see what Allah has given you from the rizq, and then you made it, some of it halal and some haram. Allah أذن لكم. Did Allah give you permission? أم تقولون على الله ما لا تعلمون. What do you say about Allah things that you don't know? So it is not fit for anybody to say this is halal or this is haram without proof. However, if you start looking, if you are searching and you don't find anything that say this thing haram, that is enough by itself to say this is halal. If someone asks you, is bananas halal? You understand? The answer is yes, it is halal. If someone asks, is grapes halal? Or any fruit that you have never heard about before, and they bring it, something that you discovered a new tree we have never heard of, is it halal or haram? It should be, as long as this thing is not mentioned in the Quran to be haram, then it is halal. We don't need specific dalil to say this is halal. What we need is specific dalil that says this is haram. Why? Because the halal is general. That's what we call istisḥāb al-Ibāḥa al-Aṣliyyah. Everything is halal until proven not to be. Because Allah says خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. He created for you whatever in the land. He created for you, do whatever you like with it. So everything in this land normally is halal. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says سَخَّرَ لَكُم مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا مِنْهُ. He made available for you whatever is in the skies and in the earth. So everything is halal. You can use it. But if you say haram, then you have not a general dalil. You don't need a general dalil. You have to detail dalil, specific dalil. وَقَدْ فَصَّلَ لَكُمْ مَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ وَمَا لَكُمْ أَلَّا تَأْكُلُوا. Why don't you eat from مما ذكر اسم الله عليه? Why don't you eat from what Allah's name has been mentioned on it? وَقَدْ فَصَّلَ لَكُمْ مَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ. And He has specified for you what is forbidden. So what is forbidden is mentioned by name. Look, khinzir haram. It's mentioned by name. Dog and fox and wolf and haram. Why? Because they are mentioned by name, like everything that has claw. What's called it? The canon. Yeah. This is mentioned by name as well. You understand? The donkey mentioned by name. In Allah wa Rasulahu in hayanikum an luhum al-humur al-ahliyah. But if you go into the desert, you find the zebra, you find these all kind of animals that is halal, as long as they are not mentioned specifically to be, everything that is not mentioned to be haram, specified by name, then it is halal.
And anything haram, it has been specified by its in detail.
Yes. So what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran? قُلْ تَعَالَوْا أَتْلُوا مَا حَرَّمَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَيْكُمْ. Come, let me tell you what Allah has forbidden for you. So what has been forbidden is mentioned. قَدْ فَصَّلَ لَكُمْ مَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ إِنَّمَا. إِنَّمَا means حصر. Only. Allah has forbidden only. قُلْ إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَبِّيَ الْفَوَاحِشِ ما ظهر منها وما بطن والإثم والبغي بغير الحق وأن تشركوا بالله. So إنما, what is haram is mentioned. What is halal is too much. You understand? What is halal is too much. You can't, if you start making a list of the things that are halal, you can never finish. But the things that are haram are very limited. So this is what we call al-asl fil ashya' al-Ibāḥa. The origin in everything, the original thing is mubah, is halal. You don't ask a person why you are sitting like that, or why you are sitting like that, or why you are sleeping, or why you are eating, why you are talking like this, you don't ask this question, because everything is mubah, even on the actions of the person. وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُمْ وَمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. Allah created you and whatever you do. Because the one who says it's haram, if you tell someone don't do this, it's on to you to bring the dalil, not the person who says halal. The person who says halal doesn't have the fact that there is no dalil, that means it's halal. The person who says haram is the person who is supposed to bring the proof. This is general in the religion. Okay? So,
because everything haram has been specified, so?
Yes. Also, he says now here, انتقال الشيء عن حكم الإباحة. He says sometimes something which is mubah might become mandub, might become mustaḥabb. A person doing something mubah can sometimes become mustaḥabb, or might become an obligation.
Obligation.
Yeah, in a way it is obligation from the beginning, but you understand what he is saying here? He say, or it can become also makruh or haram. That is just a way of talk. So we know that mubah will stay mubah. You can get rewarded for having the good intention. But the way he see it is not something that you argue with. It's just a different way. We say it was obligation all the way. It was mubah all the way. But he will say, no, it became mubah for this reason. Something that it's unnecessary to talk about it, to argue it. When you hear it, you will see it's just a question of the way he sees it. He say, for example, أكل والشرب مباحان. Eating and drinking is halal. He said, but if you eat until you get more than you can bear, it's too much. Something that will make you, for example, not really vomit, but probably it will make you stand up in the prayer uncomfortably. That will be makruh, to go to that point. I mean, to eat, you will stand up in the prayer, you can't even stand properly. You understand? Sometimes it is haram if you are going to eat and vomit to the point where you vomit. If you eat until you vomit, for example, because what happens is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا. Israf is haram. إن الله حرم عليكم ثلاثا وكره لكم ثلاث. كره لكم قيل وقال وإضاعة المال. Now eating to vomit, that is throwing your property just like that. So it is also haram to eat something. ولا تبذر تبذيرا إن المبذرين كانوا إخوان الشياطين. To spend money, because a person's property anyway, it is not his property, it is the property of Allah. He can't deal with it except with the permission of Allah. So he says, so eating sometimes might become either makruh or haram. Also he says اللهو واللعب مباحان في غير محرم. He said like playing, and playing is halal. Someone goes and play football or running or whatever, that is halal, is not haram. But if someone is praying and that play will make him neglect something which is an obligation, let's say he playing and then he leaves the jama'ah, the prayer, then the adhan goes off, or the jumu'ah, and he is still playing, that play is haram. If
يا هو
الحمد لله جزاك الله
جزاكم الله خير.
ليس مشكلة. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
إن شاء الله.
But if he is playing, let's say now he is playing and he doesn't miss the prayer, but he knows that he is playing, he will play so, he will be so tired that probably he will come to the prayer and he will be standing, yes, but he will be standing uncomfortably. He will, instead of praying properly, he will just pray quick to finish because he is tired. This person is doing makruh. You understand? If he pray until he misses the prayer, then his play is haram. You understand? But if he prays, his play might be something. If he is playing because his children are playing there, and they feel good if he plays with them. So he is. And he does it for, okay, the children, when they feel good, maybe they will go home and start memorizing Quran. So he is doing it for a good cause. So it becomes Mustaḥabb here. So the Mubah can change according to the intention of the person, why he is doing it, and where it's going to lead. He said also, like sleeping. Sleeping is Mubah. Sleeping is Mubah. But if someone is going to sleep, for example, so he can wake up, so he can work to get more money for his children, or so he doesn't have to ask people, because asking people is haram, or he goes to sleep so he can wake up for Fajr and pray his prayer. This sleeping is Mustaḥabb. We have the hadith of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari and Mu'adh ibn Jabal. They met each other in when the Prophet sent them to Yemen.
So about having good intentions behind the mobile.
Yes. So what happens is, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari said, I pray witr. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari said, I pray witr and then go to sleep. Mu'adh ibn Jabal said, I don't. I go to sleep and I pray witr. He said, so my sleep, I will get reward for my sleep and for me waking up. Why? Abu Musa al-Ash'ari will pray and then go to sleep. He is going to sleep for himself. But Mu'adh ibn Jabal will go to sleep so he can wake up for Qiyamul Layl. So he will get reward for his sleep and go. He said, فَأَحْتَسِبُ نَوْمَتِي كَمَا أَحْتَسِبُ قَوْمَتِي. So his sleep is ibadah and his awaken is ibadah as well. Fourth here, he said matter related to Mubah also. He says, صوم في السفر مباح. Fasting during the travel, he says it's mubah. Now there is different opinion. Fasting during the travel, according to Zahir, is actually it's haram. The hadith which is in Muslim shows that it is fine. It is probably not the best thing to do, because there is two hadith in Bukhari, in Muslim, not in Bukhari. that the Prophet was asked about fasting during the travel. In one hadith, the hadith of Amr ibn Hamza al-Aslami, he said, "In shi'ta fasum wa in shi'ta faftar." If you want, you can fast. If you don't want to, you don't have to fast. So that shows like it's equal. Whether you fast or not is the same. In the other hadith of Amr ibn Hamza al-Aslami, it says, "Hiya rukhsa min Allah." It is just a permission from Allah. If you take it, من أخذ بها فقد أحسن. Then it's better. It's good. ومن لم يأخذ بها فلا حرج, or فلا جناح عليه. So if you don't take it, it's still fine. It's not. So that is halal. لا جناح. We spoke about earlier. So here he says fasting in the travel is mubah. He said, and his proof here, that Anas bin Malik said, we used to travel with the Prophet. So the one who is fasting doesn't criticize the one who is not fasting, and the one who is not fasting doesn't criticize the one who is fasting. We don't take really religion from something like this. But the hadith from Aisha, that Hamza bin Amr al-Aslami said to the Prophet, should I fast during the travel? And he used to fast a lot. He said, if you want, you can fast. If you don't want to, you don't have to. He said, but eating during the fast is an obligation if it's harming the person. Eating not during the fasting, during the travel, eating at any time is an obligation. You understand? If it will harm the person. If someone is going to fast, and let's say someone diabetic, and he is going to die, or something might happen to his body, something that will change totally the body structure, not like someone, oh, I'm having pain, I'm tired, I'm hungry, but after Maghrib I will eat normal. But someone, if he is fasting and this will harm him, meaning will lead to a change in his body, he will lose something. You understand? This person is definitely haram for him to fast. It's not like he has the choice.
During Ramadan, yeah?
Yeah, during Ramadan, if someone is going to fast, and that fasting will take him to a coma, or he will make him
affect his life,
affect his body in any way, like he will get a permanent disease or permanent sickness.
Get blind, or
Yeah, like a person who is diabetic, he might get blind by if he fasts full month or something.
المرض أي مرض هو أي مرض.
If a person is, I am hungry, it's very difficult, I am thirsty, I know after Maghrib I will drink water and it's fine, it will go away. That is normal, but this is what happened in fasting. But if someone fasting the pain is unbearable, or this will affect his body, he will get a permanent illness, it is haram for him to fast. Even when you eat, you get صداع.
How?
Nothing.
يصاب يضر راسه.
لا هذا عادي يعني مسألة صداع الراس كم الناس ياخذ كم اللي عندهم صداع الراس؟
قال لي مرض قال لي صداع الراس هو مرض. على حسب صداع الراس.
هو على كل حال مسألة المرض، البخاري كان جرح نفسه، جرح صبعه فطر، قال وإن كنتم مرضى. فهمت؟ هي مسألة صداع الراس هذا يعني أي نوع من الصداع، هل هو مرض؟ إلى مرض الإنسان مسموح له يفطر. لكن نحن نتكلم الآن مسألة فرق بين مباح ويتكلم على حرام. قال لك حرام على الواحد إذا كان مسافر إذا كان يضر الصيام. صحيح مسألة إذا يضر الصيام لو كان إنسان if the person is actually resident and the fasting is going to harm him, it's haram for him to fast. It's haram to do anything that will harm your body. Let's say someone is, you have to stand up in the prayer, you have to do ruku', you have to do sujood. But someone goes to the sujood, to the ruku', and he knows that if he goes to ruku' he will never come back because his back will be broken. It's haram for him to do this ruku', isn't it? It is haram to do anything that affects your body, life permanently, or that is definitely general.
طيب لماذا بعد يضعني يحرم الصوم مثلا؟
هذا شيء آخر نتكلم عليهم بعد إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
فقال عن جابر بن عبد الله أن رسول الله خرج عام الفتح في رمضان. The Prophet Jabir said that the Prophet went in Mecca in the 8th year for Fath Mecca. Then when he reached Qura al-Ghamim, people still fasting. So the Prophet took some water and drank from it. Then people said, some people told him, some people still fasting. He said, أولئك العصاة أولئك العصاة. He said, these are the disobedient. These are the disobedient. Oh, this hadith we should never, of course, this is the end of the matter of the Mubah, but this hadith we should never understand it this way. This hadith is not the only hadith. This hadith is with the hadith of Abi Sa'id al-Khudri, both of them in Muslim, but he didn't bring the hadith of Abi Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet didn't say these people are disobedient because he drank and he didn't drink.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Prophet does something, that is, you don't have to do it. There is nothing in the religion that says if the Prophet does something, you have to do it. The Prophet used to fast, for example, certain days. He used to pray extra. He used to doesn't like to wear some kind of clothes. He used to, when he does ghusl, he doesn't wipe himself. You don't have to do these things. It's not an obligation. Obligation, if he say do this and then you don't do it, or don't do this and then. So, is it possible that the Prophet said, drank water and people didn't drink, and he said أولئك العصاة? Why? Is there anything in the religion that says that when the Prophet drink, people have to drink? There isn't. What happened here actually, explained by hadith of Abi Sa'id al-Khudri, that the Prophet, when they went to Mecca, he told people, oh people, you are going to meet your enemy, and it's better to fast, to break your fast. So some people didn't break their fast. But at the beginning he said it's better. He didn't say you have to. And then when they reached one place, he said, tomorrow you are going to meet your enemy. So, and it's stronger for you. You will make you stronger because to break your fast. So break your fast. And some people didn't break their fast. Now here he said, these are disobedient, because the obedience disobedience is not to follow the order. You see this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Musa, when he was with the man, he said, ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا. Because if you don't do the order, that is called معصية, and معصية is haram. ومن يعص الله ورسوله فإن له نار جهنم خالدين فيها أبدا. But if you don't follow the action, that is not disobedience, that is not haram. Okay, alhamdulillah. We do the adhan in 15 minutes.